So it's been an interesting season so far for Barcelona, which poses an interesting question as we are looking towards...
Interesting?
Interesting.
Can we call it effing trash?
Yeah, well, we
for
will call it trash.
For their standard?
When they, as Jason is firmly on the, not on the fence, I'm still a little hesitant.
Oh, I know
when
where
they
he's
crash
going.
out the Champions League.
Oh, when they crash out the Champions League, and we'll get to it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Well, they gift wrap La Liga to Real Madrid. This is all Jason's thoughts, by the way. This isn't me. I'm going to happily sit on the fence, perk my little Scottish booty on the fence until they go out, because I've seen crazier things happen.
Me and Skip Bayless, we're
watched
far into the other side of the fence.
I have watched Steven Gerrard orchestrate a comeback in the second half to go on and win a Champions League.
Oh, he totally scored 5 goals. Yeah.
I've seen crazier things. I have seen crazier things, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, it poses a question as to Luis Enrique's future, which is something that people wouldn't even fathom. Not because I think Barcelona would look to fire him after this season, but does he then look to another venture very similar to what Pep Guardiola did? He's won everything already.
Yep.
He's established himself as a very successful manager for Barcelona. But as many people kind of overlooked when it came to Pep and Luis Enrique is that, there's a lot of players that have stuck around at Barcelona, Lionel Messi being one of them. Sometimes managers do, especially in their youth. Luis Enrique and Guardiola on paper are one of the youngest managers, already accomplished greatness. Do they get bored? Do they want to go and seek out new challenges? Guardiola did. He went to Bayern Munich and had great success there. Now he's at Manchester City. Will Luis Enrique at the end of this season look to head elsewhere?
Well, he's going to be looking in general because his contract's up.
Yep.
So unless Barcelona inks him to a new deal, and with the PSG defeat in the Champions League and a potential loss in La Liga, that's not going to look good for his chances of wanting on both sides. It could be one of those mutual, well, look, man, it looks like your time's up. And there's an opening at Leicester City. So Luis Enrique is going to go to Leicester. He's going to bring Messi. He's going to bring Neymar. Whew, man.
Leicester Enrique.
And they're going to be Leicester Enrique. They're going to be so good. And we're going to get look, I'm just saying, right? Conspiracy theory time. Chelsea, Diego Costa, top of his form 2 years ago. They win the Premier League. Next year happens, right? Not going so good, right? So then they get rid of their manager and they bring in Antonio Conte, and now they're going to win the Premier League. Leicester City, 2 years ago, Claudio Ranieri wins the Premier League. This year, not looking so good. Although someone had a great tweet today saying firing Claudio Ranieri is like firing the doctor who cured AIDS, but he couldn't find a cure for cancer. It wasn't good enough, sir.
So true.
And then they're going to be like, well, look, there's Luis Enrique's there. You know, he wants to come. And Jamie Vardy's awesome. He wants a new challenge. Brings back Riyad Mahrez, and N'Golo Kante's like, fuck it, I don't want to play on Chelsea anymore. He goes with him, and Griezmann and Messi and the Foxes are awesome.
You're living in like a universe where like Donald Trump's president.
Not the players, but I mean, Enrique's not going to go to Leicester. It would be awesome. But hey, there could be some wild movement. What if it doesn't work out with Klopp in Liverpool and they don't?
By the way, Klopp out was trending in Liverpool after
understandably
poor result. I'm not going to get into it.
Speaking of Leicester, who needs the 3-1.
Oh yeah. So by the way, really quick on that. Stop. Please stop with the whole, this is all that Leicester needed was a new manager. No, the reason they won is because the players were trying, because there's no one else to blame now. If they lost, they would be blamed. So therefore they put everything in. Yeah,
Leicester?
They won at home.
It was in King Power?
It was, I just hate that people were out there tweeting that this is what all they needed was a new lease of life. No, players aren't held accountable enough in the Premier League. We know this. Players like, the Chelsea team got away with murder when they allowed Jose Mourinho to go and be fired because he didn't have the dressing room, and then all of a sudden things turned around. There was a lot of snakes in there, and of course they're reaping the benefits now. They got a great manager in, and everything's going good. But with that game, really quick to end it,
it's fine. Go.
Yeah, there's going to be a resurgence when the players are like, shit, there's no one here to take the blame if we happen to go out here and get smashed. Going to go out, play for our lives, and do everything that Ranieri had already told them how to do last year. They didn't change anything. Very similarly, Drinkwater, I actually seen him advance. What a goal he scored. I seen him do that against Sevilla as well. He was starting to advance, starting to be a little less fearful of what could happen if he happens to be caught out of position. That's what he did 2 years ago, and he was very good at it. So, yeah, whatever you want to say about it, just save it. It's not because Ranieri left.
Look,
The
man,
Leicester
Buddy,
suddenly were
like,
resurgent.
in the NBA crossover, Buddy Hield had a great first game when he played in the Kings. Oh, DeMarcus Cousins is gone. That must solve all the problems.
Yeah.
Kings got blown out in the last 2 games. So it's the same. It's the same thing. In terms of Enrique, if he does leave Barcelona, I guess 2 questions. Part A, would you prefer if Enrique stayed at Barcelona if you are Enrique's subconscious saying you stay? Or do you think that if there was an opening in the Premier League, I don't think there's going to be a ton of movement from PSG or any of the top-tier clubs elsewhere. It'd probably be the Premier League. Where would you like to see him? Liverpool? City and United probably safe with their managers. Chelsea safe with their.
You're waiting.
Arsenal. If they have the final opportunity to bring in Enrique, who can probably do it for 10 years, he's successful.
Yeah.
He's
It seems like this is the way most of these clips end. We did Diego Simeone.
I'm so done with Arsenal.
At the end of
Just
it,
fire him, please.
At the end of it, we were like, oh yeah, so who could they go to? Oh, if Arsenal lets their manager go, there could be a vacancy there. But Luis Enrique will technically not leave or not want to leave if they end the season poorly. I don't think he's the type of guy that wants to leave a club in a worse off position than when he found
Club
them.
might be like, hey.
Oh yeah, they might
don't
be like,
want
we
you
don't want
here.
you. If he's given the option to stay,
And then
I think he'll
Simeone
stay.
in.
Oh, that's a good call. I don't
What
think Simeone
drama?
would be. Nah, I don't think.
He wants to be
Barcelona
out too.
are. You know how clubs like I made this point with Arsenal. You know how clubs have a system that everyone needs to adhere to? Arsenal have made this system up in their head. Like the system that was played with the Invincibles. Oh, you got to play the fancy, sexy football in Arsenal. Well, that's not got you anything in almost a decade.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I've seen sexy football win all that much in the last 3 years.
Yeah, well, Barcelona, the thing is, and you look at the history, like La Liga winning it, that's enough to kind of give you enough confidence. Yeah, that style of football still works. So I think a manager like Simeone would not go to Barcelona because I think Barcelona, you need to be able to play the sexy football. It doesn't mean you just simply play it in your own way, but Guardiola left that system in place, and I think Barcelona collectively, fans, club, everyone wants them to play that style of football. Doesn't mean you need to adhere to it like point by point. You can have your own adjustments and make sure a harder team to beat because I think they're too easy to beat at the moment, Barcelona. So yeah, that part of Simeone would fit, but no, I don't think that he's sexy enough to go in and play that style of football and to please everyone around it. But Enrique going to Arsenal, that would please all of those daydreaming fans that think that Arsenal's sexy football is going to deliver them a Premier League. But in reality, if he went in with that same style and tried to play that sexy football without the personnel, he would just suffer the same fate as every manager that tries to do that. And Arsene Wenger, you have to be, in the Premier League, you have to be just as hard to beat as you are at good going forward. And that's a harsh reality that many people won't want to face when it comes to Arsenal. Sexy football has not done anything for you. Result show. You have to come in. I would think Simeone would be a great fit to Arsenal. Arsenal fans would be like, whoa, what about our sexy football? And Simeone would be like, fuck your sexy football.
You know what's
Here's
sexy?
a win.
You know what I consider sexy football? Fucking winning.
Yes.
Winning the Premier League is sexy football. Winning
Very
your
true.
Champions League matches, that's sexy football. Who the fuck cares how you do it?
There's nothing sexy about losing 5-1 to Bayern Munich, I'll tell you that. Zero sexy about that.
Zilcho.
So, Luis Enrique, let us know. What do you think? Do you think he might look elsewhere at the end of this year? My thoughts are, if Barcelona go home with 0 silverware, which is very likely, I think he'll stick around to try and right the wrong and doesn't want to leave the club in a mess, to be honest, which is so weird. Leaving a club with Messi, Suarez, and Neymar in a mess. What a mess that would be to clean up.
It's like the dream job.
Yeah,
It'd
the
be
dream
like,
mess. It's like a janitor who's sweeping up and finds like a fucking pot of gold or something like that. Oh, that mess.